Welcome back in, everybody, to the second series of the day. One move, looking to secure this next game here as well. But Darkside, there were some good points. Dizzy's had some great position on that. They found some good kills. 9, 4, and 3 on Dizzy, so he was doing his job in there. How do you think Darkside try and play around this coming into game number 2? Do they stick with a similar sort of draft that they had here to try and maybe force this one out, or is it just going back to the drawing board here for Darkside?
I think Darkside's drafts have been somewhat unpredictable. They have been all around the place ever since the start. I really like the way that they approach their drafts, but the execution wasn't there. That last draft was pretty basic, and considering that they played it, I'd say decently, or even well compared to how they played for the first part of the season. I'd say it would stick with something of the same approach. Have like a save hero, have a mid laner that can catch, have a, let's say, range positioning type carry. You can again open up with an Undying Drow, Undying the sniper or something along those lines. I think it was definitely shown that it suits them better than them experimenting with the drafts, coming up with new ideas that look cool, but they are unable to make them happen.
Okay. I'm just looking through what they picked up yesterday as well. The second game against HF, which was the closest, they had a Pudge Crystal Maiden combo. The Enchantress came out with the Dragon Knight, and they picked up a Tinker as well. Apart from the Tinker, which it's a hero that I never want to see picked up ever, 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 because it's almost as bad as a troll. No, it's a good. Not in terms of not in terms of the impact the hero has, just in the terms of like just, get that hero out of the game. Just open the door,
We
boot
can
it
we
out.
can predict. Okay, I have a
What?
a little bit of a thing for you, Rob. So you can tell me if you agree. We can pretend you never said that, and then
Okay.
you don't have to try here to explain yourself, right? Are you
Wait,
okay with that?
do you like Tinker?
It's one of the more popular heroes in pubs in
Yeah,
Highland.
no. I'm not talking about it being
Oh,
popular.
do I like?
Do
Do
you
I
like
like it?
the hero?
Ever since they removed the
10 seconds
march,
remaining.
I feel like the hero is okay, right? It's
Yeah.
not as
5
annoying as
seconds
it used to be.
remaining.
I'm not saying it's a weak hero. I'm saying I dislike it very passionately, and I wish
You
they
don't
take
like
it.
to watch it. You don't like to watch it
I
either.
don't like to watch it. Don't like to play against it. Don't like to play with it. I
Radiant
despise this
team
hero in
Dire
every
team
sense of the
pick.
word. It's not a Dota hero. It split pushes. It doesn't engage with the fights properly. It just gets on top of you, chases it down. It's anti-Dota. It's not fun, and it needs a proper techies treatment. It needs a rework or needs booting out of the game.
Okay.
Hate that hero.
So guys, this is a
10
prime
seconds
example
remaining.
when someone is allowing their emotions from previous,
5 seconds remaining.
bad situations with the Tinker to impact their
Radiant
job,
team
right?
pick.
He hates the Tinker
Radiant
so
team
much that he
Dire
doesn't
team
want to see it, even in a competitive. It looks good in a competitive game. Come on.
No, it's not. It's not fun. You just watch it TP to a lane for 40 minutes and just sit there and, oh, I'm going to split push the lane with a laser and then I can't actually take a tower. And then he just, he gets a Hex, just jumps on top of anyone that gets caught out and
10
just Hex,
seconds
Hex
remaining.
laser rockets, Hex laser rockets, Hex laser rockets. And that's this entire, there's nothing
5
fun about
seconds
that.
remaining.
Yeah, I don't know what would be fun about spamming your
Dire
spells
team back.
constantly and being interesting that everything is flying around and finishing people off. But okay, whatever. You mentioned the Crystal Maiden, Pudge, Darkside are going to be playing that one against the Broodmother. I think that yesterday in that third-party tournament where they played against HF, they played against the Brood as well, right?
Yeah, it was a
10 seconds
Rubik
remaining.
lane. And they did actually do really well. They
5
got a
seconds
good couple of
remaining.
kills. They set up onto the Broodmother. Even when the Insatiable Hunger was coming out,
Radiant
the
team banned.
raw into the Crystal Nova as well. It was too much damage for the Brood to
Dire
sustain
team
against. And
banned.
they actually looked like they were going to win that game, but there was a couple of throws and a Tinker in there that just made it show that they couldn't actually close it out.
Yeah, and the similarities between Pudge and the Tinker by your standards. Pudge, what do? You just rot on, rot off, rot on, rot off.
10
Then you come to a
seconds
tower, you
remaining.
cannot push it. Like I cannot even.
No. Pudge gets in the middle of the fight. You know,
5
he'll sit there.
seconds
He'll be throwing out his hooks and his dismembers and his rots, sure. But he's in the middle of the fight. He's having fun. He engages with the team. He doesn't just sit off to a lane for
Radiant
20
team
minutes and just try and
Dire
1v5
team
the entire
battle.
game.
Oh, but if when we started together, if I knew it was so easy to provoke you, I would have had so much fun, so much more fun. I think we had fun either way. Yeah, but
Yeah.
anyways, one move they'll get the disruptor. I feel like one move have gotten two of the more popular or
10
the most
seconds
popular
remaining.
meta heroes. One of them most picked in most regions, in ours as well, and the other one
5
most
seconds
banned
remaining.
in I would say every region. So Darkside, I'm glad that
Radiant's
they
team
do
battle.
have a hero combo that is somewhat good against the Brood.
Yeah, speaking about the disruptor, I think he's trying to say the other day. I don't know how it's been impacted with the games, but it was something like a 70% win rate on this disruptor in the Eastern
Yeah.
European region.
70.37, 19
seconds
wins, 8
remaining.
losses.
So yeah, looking really good for one move. You know, it's just a
5
good omen
seconds
to be able to
remaining.
pick this hero up, it seems. But it is up to Darkside to answer back. And with this Crystal Maiden Pudge start up against the Broodmother, they've already proved they can do it yesterday. They might be able to lock it down again in this game number 2 here up against one move.
We'll see how well Afterlife and Gilgir are going to be able to do in that lane. Gilgir has played the Disruptor 4 as well, so this could be the double off lane they're looking at. And actually, it's not bad if the Pudge gets close to the
Radiant
Broodmother, you just
team
send him
pick.
away, and you've kind of saved your Brood.
Dire
Yeah.
team pick.
So Darkside go for the Rubik as well. So I still expect it to be the Crystal Maiden, yeah, the Pudge in the safe lane, the Rubik here looking for this off lane. Maybe again something. Would you prefer like a Snapfire here in the off lane for Darkside? You know, helps
seconds
deal with the
remaining.
Broodmother a little bit later on into the game.
5 seconds remaining.
You feel like if I would want the Snapfire over the Rubik,
No. So like a Rubik 4 and then like the Snapfire 3.
Okay, no, I wouldn't want to see a 3 Snapfire right now. I feel like Darkside, they need some pushing power, and Snapfire is banned out anyways, but they need some
is it?
pushing power. Snapfire isn't that.
Oh, it just was. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. Yeah, I saw. What was it yesterday? It was the tiny Snapfire offlane. So like you run the Snapfire as the 3, you run the tiny as the 4, and it just ran over. It was like all 3 games it was in. It just ran over them. Good combo. I was just thinking again. Just a nice pickup. So obviously Darkside, they see it as a nice pickup there as well for the side of one move and ban it out. Okay, we're going to see the Hoodwink. So we've gone from potentially the highest win rate hero to one of, I want to say, the lowest win rate heroes, especially in the last tour.
Was in Division 2, wasn't that way in Division 1, so... And we are in Division 1, but this tour in Division 1, it's looking really bad, 1 and 3, so 25%, not the greatest, but it really wasn't as popular as it previously was. I mean, I always like to see the Hoodwink, right? Now, there is gonna be a little bit of a downtime before Disruptor and Hoodwink hit level 6. During that level 4 or 5 of theirs is where Darkside supports could create a lot of problems on the map.
Yeah, and if the Storm Spirit comes out here for one move, so they've got some good damage potential, the lockdown potential coming through as well from pretty much everybody. Ooh, Darkside are going to go for, so what, mid TA?
Yeah, that's going to be a mid TA.
TA
does well.
Go on, I was just saying, it's weird saying that after so many years of it being a mid lane hero, and then all of a sudden it's had that shift to the safe lane, so it's a bit surprising when it does come out as that mid lane kind of carry.
Rabel has played it on the mid lane, even when in his time in Hellraiser, so it's not that new for him. It is a hero that lanes well against Thorn, so with Thorn coming back into the meta, I'm actually surprised that people haven't thought about the TA more. Also, later on in the game, it's one of the better heroes to clear out the Spiderlings. 1 or 2 hits with the side blades and they're all dead. Disruptor, Hoodwink have no armor. Broodmother is the only one that is going to be building into some extra armor. So I don't see why not. When you have the Pudge, you are going to be needing some physical damage, some tower taker, objective secure, right? TA does well against the Roche as well, so I'm liking it. And TA, gets countered by illusion-based
Dire
heroes.
team
Pudge is very good against those.
Okay, so not expecting any Nagas, no more CKs to come out, nothing like that.
I think Sniper would be perfect for one move, but I could see it getting removed now.
Yeah. They are gonna have
10
the second to
seconds
last pick on one
remaining.
move as well, so Darkside will be able to answer back to it as well.
5 seconds remaining.
But yeah, potentially Darkside with this final ban, they might take it out. Is there anything else that you're looking at here for one move that looks good with the rest of the lineup?
Need
Radiant
overtime
team battle.
damage, right? I mean, are
Dire
they gonna be
team
crazy and go? They could go for a Terrorblade still.
Mhm.
That's, even though it's illusion-based hero, it's still okay versus the Pudge.
Yeah, and Darkside ban out the Slack. I can see the reasoning, maybe going for the trade, but like you say, if the Sniper comes out here, it
10
stays away from the
seconds
Pudge.
remaining.
The Shrapnel as well, being able to deal with the refraction charges with Templar Assassin
5 seconds
when the fights start
remaining.
to break out. Plays a good distance away. It's got a good front line that can sit in front of it. So
No catch on Darkside. Really, no catch. Zero.
Yeah.
You can get an offlaner that does okay, but you're never gonna be able to jump in on the Sniper with a lot of your heroes. Especially, you have no vision heroes on the side of Darkside. I guess DA could go into that category, but it's not the most reliable one.
And we'll see. I mean, one move, again, 36 seconds before they do have to actually force a pick out. So they have some time to think about it, weigh through the pros and cons if they want to go for that. Or, like, say, Terrorblade, something like that on the lane.
Radiant
And it's
team
going to be the Prophet.
Okay, so they want to ramp up the tempo.
Yeah.
Interesting. I guess the idea is here we kill your supports before you kill ours. If that does happen, then they can run circles against Darkside, and the TA really does need her supports to be alive. I think this is the main idea right now from one move. We
10
take away your
seconds
towers,
remaining.
we take away your ability to farm, and Pudge and the TA are
5
pretty greedy
seconds
between
remaining.
themselves. That's actually a cool approach for one move.
Yeah. What are you looking towards then for the offlane of Darkside? Because yesterday, with this, or with the line that they played that they got close, they put the Dragon Knight into the offlane.
Dragon Knight, Primal Beast, I think are the two of which I would be wanting to see here. I think those two do make a lot of sense for Darkside if
Yeah.
Blizzy wants to play it, but considering Blizzy's heroes might be a Panda. No, it's gonna
You
be
may
a Primal
now
Beast, okay.
select your heroes.
Okay, so again, break again on top of the Nature's Prophet. Just being able to chase down heroes. The trample comes out, that AoE magic damage as well that can clear off waves, clear off treants. And Darkside, like I say, they had some practice with this Pudge Crystal Maiden yesterday. It looked all right in the lane. They just weren't able to close it out. That was coming up against the Morphlin, though. So there was that Aghanim Scepter that kept shifting into the Pudge, taking away that status resistance. So they might have an easier time in this game. So Darkside, one move preference on a lineup?
I'm still gonna go for one move, but I think Darkside have a much better shot than in the previous game.
Yeah, I think I'm going to back Darkside here. After seeing how they played yesterday with the Crystal Maiden Pudge combo when they lane up against the Broodmother, they should know what they have to do here. Templar Assassin, just a great fighting hero. If you get in the mix, just being able to throw out the side blades and take heroes down quickly, and then move on to buildings as well, because you do want to go towards, I think that Dragonlance Desolator Blink build for the Templar Assassin, so should be able to blow up heroes and buildings fairly quickly.
You're going up against the one move Nature's Prophet, and
True.
Darkside, who haven't been looking the greatest, are playing against one of the best heroes in the meta, and there's not really a lot of counters for him other than the Primal Beast in the lane. Everything else the Nature's Prophet does deal with well. But yeah, I do agree with you. Darkside does have a formidable lineup, and I mean, if these were teams of the same caliber, if Darkside were looking better, I would have been preferring them as well.
Okay. But again, guys, before we get into it, there is going to be a sponsor video coming over from EGB just to tell you a little bit about themselves. So it'll be coming up soon, and check it out when it pops.
Bets on esports, bets on streamers, impressive bonus system, welcome bonus up to $600, cashback, artifacts, regular promotions, daily giveaways. Try yourself as a bookmaker. Great lines. EGB.com, more than just a bookmaker.
Well, I pressed the wrong button. I pressed mute instead of. Never mind. Welcome back in. Yeah, Hurry coming in through this. You were talking about the Nature's Prophet, but everybody on the side of Darkside has a way to kind of deal with these treants, and then I'd like to, like to think at least Dizzian with the Dismember has enough lockdown that Rabel can blow him up on the hero himself. Obviously, it doesn't ever work out that clean in a team fight, but I think early on, they have a way to try and deal with the push potential coming out from Munkushi. Is that... Am I accurate at all, or do you just think he's going to run over these lanes?
You are accurate. The thing is that one move are very mobile, right? And Darkside, they have some mobility on their side, but they cannot match with the tempo that one move's heroes can dish out. So, however the game starts going, you can start split pushing, pushing out the waves, and then Storm catching out the supports. The supports of Darkside are very squishy, and I think they're gonna be a easy target for Aincrad.
Yeah, and the odds from EGB here. We're looking at one move again coming in as the favorites. Yeah, Darkside is going to be long odds for them again. They've only won one game throughout the entire DPC tour, so not surprising to see the big difference in the odds here coming into game number 2.
Also, I read a Reddit post, I'd say a couple of days ago, when people were complaining when they were not informed that there were some penalties, and there was a penalty for Darkside. I don't know exactly what it was, but I know that there was a discussion between Roger and the admins, and they're like, you want to do this, or I don't know what it was, or are we gonna give you the penalty? And they need to get something done, not really sure what, and Roger was just like, give me the penalty, let's just get into the draft and play. So very much Chad move coming up from him.
Yeah, and we'll see here, as the bounce runes get claimed. Do the, okay, it's just going to be the Crystal Maid. I was going to say, does anyone want to try and contest onto this? But Seneco's going to get it for free. And yeah, it looks like it might be, or it will be, Gilga move himself down. I suppose the Bushwhack is quite nice. If the Bush tries to chase you down with the rot, once you get a couple of levels there, you can put down your own trees as well. Dizzian, he doesn't have a Quelling Blade, no quick fingers are going to matter, unless he goes for a Tango. But yeah, the Bushwhack might be enough to save Afterlife's lane, or Life in the lane, excuse me.
Well, we'll see how he does. Level 2 is when things become really scary for you. Okay, the first approach from the Darkside, we didn't see it on the screen there. It didn't work out too well. The frostbite into a hook.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. No one saw it. Didn't actually happen. We can just pretend that wasn't a thing here. I'm up against Rabel in the mid lane. Rabel having to start with the first point into the side blades, like most Templar Assassins mid used to do anyway. But then you see the build up. Is it just you max out these refraction charges?
Yeah, of course, no surprises there. Storms in the early stages of the game can deal somewhat with the early points in refraction, because when you hit with the overload, it does take away 2 of the instances, right? But as the lane progresses, Rabel should be coming out ahead.
Yeah, and bottom lane, we see Seneko taking a lot of damage in the lane here, but again, it's just looking to try and maybe get the setup, the opening for the pudge, but it seems like the Broodmother with these webs just wants to play in the middle of all these creeps, and yeah, Gilga playing right behind as well, just making these angles incredibly hard. Seneko even taking some harass damage coming out from the Acorn shot here from the Hoodwink.
Yeah, the thing is, here, one move, they are good at poking. Darkside, they're good at killing. So one move, they want to constantly trade with their enemies and not really engage into huge battles.
Do you think there's any point where they do want to go? Because you see the Broodmother holding the point in the second level. So is there a point where he maybe gets a couple of points in the insatiable hunger that says, you know what, I can actually turn onto this pudge?
Yeah, of course.
Top lane, Roger going to be taking some harassment. Munkushi, though, going to be chased away by Blizzy. Blizzy, does he actually get the kill? Was that chased down? Does he have one more right click? Ooh, the regen. That passive regen enough to keep the Nature's Prophet alive.
Phantom is in trouble, though.
Yeah, Telekinesis comes out into the lift. Do they have the damage? The Glimpse comes back, though. He's going to be able to drop the kinetic field. All of a sudden, Blizzy just can't close that gap.
Imagine how strong that kinetic field is when a beast like this, look at it, that's such a huge horn, a rhinoceros on steroids literally cannot go through.
Yeah, and it's pure energy, right? So Roger, he's just going to reset. He got low. And the Treants, actually, Blizzy might go down here. He's trying to get the trample damage onto Pantomime, but one more right click, Munkushi. Pantomime, he barely survives through that trample, and Munkushi gets the kill. And then he goes down to the creeps.
Just doesn't want to give the experience away, and he really didn't have any resources left, so this works out perfectly in the end for one move. Just the ability of the Nature's Prophet to leave the lane and immediately come back with full HP, full mana is something that is never to be underestimated.
Yeah, and like you said, good reset. Doesn't really give anything away, but a bit of gold to the Primal Beast. Bottom lane as well. Yeah, this Hoodwink Broodmother lane going really well. Going better than the lane did yesterday for the Broodmother. It just seems like they can't find the angles for the hooks, and obviously Afterlife being able to play in with the creeps. But Gilga, his position is pretty good as well, as now Blizzy does get the kill onto Munkushi this time. Pantomime away from protecting his Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, Pantomime needs to be there all the time. If he's not there, they're just going to be able to run him down every single time.
Yeah, it is a good hero here, the Disrupt to come out against the Primal Beast, but like I say, it does mean that he has to babysit the Nature's Prophet, because any dive that comes through, the glimpse onto Blizzy now as well, so they might be able to get some harass. The Kinetic Field's going to be there as well, but the Fade Ball instantly deals with a lot of the damage the Prophet can put out.
You can see the second that they use the glimpse, they don't want to be going forward, because they understand Primal Beast gets on top of the Nature's Prophet, and you just die again. You have nothing to defend yourself with.
Yeah, so this is why... Yeah, the build-up into the Kinetic Field and that Glimpse, making sure as soon as one used, the other comes out as well. And with this lane, I think Blizzy's not doing too bad, getting the 2 kills, even though one was after one of his deaths. So it's going to be a decent amount of gold, so the Phase Boots shouldn't be too far away for Blizzy here.
Yeah, he needs one more component, but once he does get those, it does become increasingly difficult for Munkushi, because it's not only going to be during the trample, but even without it, the Primal Beast will be able to juke out the treants quite nicely, or just go through them.
Yeah. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, Didian's being trolled by his own creeps. The Frostbite came out, and there was a couple of Radiant creeps going towards Afterlife that just blocked Didian from getting that hook dragged back. And you can see here he's just playing inside the creep wave at all times. And now, do they want to try and come in onto this? Crystal Nova, but the Bushwhack, as well as that Silken Bowler, will connect onto the Pudge. So the Pudge not getting everything he wants out of this lane. He wants it to be probably a couple of kills up by this point in the game.
And speaking of kills, Blizzy, he does dodge the death. Barely though, but yeah, one move, they're not going for kills in the bottom lane. They're just poking, right? They're hoping to get as much as possible, get the levels in the Broodmother. If you try to commit, you could just lose the lane without the reason to do so.
Aincrad, one more right click, he's got the Vortex dragged back. Can he get himself away? Oh, no. Rabel, he does pick up the kill here up against the Storm Spirit. Really well done, the double damage rune. No, he still gets it. Oh, that was really clever to try and go for the Kinetic Field deny. Even Rabel, yeah. He drops that respect tip, and I'm going to believe it is a respect tip and not a bit of a taunt there coming out from Rabel.
Okay, keep believing whatever you like. That's definitely your right, but I'm gonna keep believing that he went for a BM approach. And with this DD, the Storm needs to be careful. He can get ran down again.
Yeah, he's only level 5, doesn't have that ball liner just yet. He's close to it. This creep wave should be enough. In fact, that creep was enough to get it. The Vortex comes out now as well. But there's still going to be the refraction charges here for Templar. TA can get himself away, has those bottle charges now as well. Refraction comes up for 3 seconds. But the Glimpse, yeah, the drag back, they might even be able to get the kill here. The support rotation in, but Aincrad's going to get low himself. They do get the kill onto Rabel. Now Aincrad, he's got that bottle, but he needs to back himself away from harass coming out from Roger and Soneko.
That is huge. The TA overstaying her welcome, and one move, they were rotating supports that entire time. He should have known that something is going to be going his way. With a glimpse into a Remnant, it's always going to be such a massive amount of damage, and he even got the refraction out, which I thought wasn't going to happen, but either way, one move, they had enough.
Yeah, and the great response from the Storm Spirit goes down. There's an immediate response here from his supports. Soneko, he might even go down solo to Hoodwink. Hoodwink, one more right click the Pudge with the hook. Actually, who wants Squirrel? Because it's going to be offered up in Pudge. Well, I don't know if I trust that Butcher, but he's going to be able to get the kill onto Gilga anyway.
That's going to be a big one. Nice bait coming out from Soneko. Perfect one. He even had the sticks, so he even came close to get the experience, and he definitely deserved it.
Yeah, level 4 on him now as well. Crystal Maiden, he's going to be able to offer that aura up as well to to his teammates. He's just trying to find the pull through. Top lane, Blizzy. Kinetic Field comes out. The train's trying to do some damage. The Thunderstrike back into the Glimpse, but Blizzy is just straight onslaught out of there. And the Crystal Maiden, it was the Harpy Creep drops the the Chain Lightning, and it takes down the last of the Crystal Maiden's life.
Why would the creep do that?
just for that reaction, yeah.
Like, just randomly, it throws out a spell. That's just very, very weird. But either way, the Crystal Maiden is not gonna mind overall. Beat that for 26 seconds, and then you're back to the world of the living. Echo is gonna have a problem though. He still does not have the boots.
No. He's going to be so far away in terms of goal away from those. Yeah, needs to get involved in a couple of pickoffs. Not like this, though. Pickoffs and Echo. Can he get himself away? The Bushwhack comes out. They get the catch. And this is the pickoff. This isn't the pickoff, excuse me, the Crystal Maiden wanted. It was so low, 30 health. And Gilgat might still look for this behind the trees. So do you want to try and get himself in? No points in the scurry, though, so he's not going to be able to do it covertly. The scan comes out from both sides, turns red momentarily. Looks like Seneko. He's going to be alright for now. Level 6 though on Afterlife. Afterlife spawns Spiderlings and Crystal Maiden. He's going to shatter.
Yeah, he's gone. This ain't nothing he can do to help. He might not be a target, but his Crystal Maiden definitely is. And this thing is taking some damage as well. With the potential of the Nature's Prophet rotation, this Pudge could easily die now when he doesn't have a support.
I suppose the silver lining is he has the 1 point into Flesh Heap, so he has that damage block. He has a Vanguard here as well, so if he was to be engaged on it, take a decent amount of time where the rest of his team might be able to TP to his aid.
Though TA not the one that you're relying on for a TP, and offlaners don't like to move from their lane this early on, so I wouldn't be surprised if one move do make a rotation towards the Pudge fairly soon.
This might be it as well. Ankrad gets himself a regen rune, so going to be able to get a little bit of farm up maybe before they make a move. Speaking about making a move, Pantomime, Kinetic Field comes through. He's trying to make a move away from Blizzy, but Blizzy still looks to chase down. The Pulverize comes through now as well. Munkushi just has to turn his back saying, I don't know that dude, I'm just leaving. You take whatever you want.
Yeah, nothing you could do at that point. That's why I want to see Munkushi a little bit more in the rotation game. And the Zing is being pressured a bit now in the bottom lane. Ankrad is coming over.
Yeah, the Bushwhack will be there now as well. They're going to be able to get a lot of damage. Vortex drag back, and this Pudge, he should not dismember. It's going to keep him alive for a little bit. But Gilga as well as Aincrad committing all of his mana there before the regen rune to get that kill. Well done to take the Pudge down, and yeah, even be able to go through that dismember heal.
Yeah, but the second that you show yourself on the bottom lane with the Storm is the second that your mid lane tower falls.
Especially, he's going to be diving now again, but can he get himself away with the meld into the road's refraction charges? Static Storm comes out. They've got the kill. And even the Storm Spirit, can he get himself away from this one? Pantomime, he tries to turn it around. Blizzy dives in now as well into Munkushi. And Seneko, he gets the kill onto Pantomime. Blizzy, surely not. Surely with the sharpshooter. Blizzy, is he going to be able to get the pulverized damage off now as well? He gets the mini stuns onto the Storm Spirit, so he couldn't get that drag back. Couldn't get the damage onto the Primal Beast to help get that kill. Munkushi will go down.
No, Afterlife is part of this fight, but Dizzying is as well. So that Dizzying coming over definitely saved everybody's life, because Afterlife probably would have been able to run down everyone.
Yeah, at least while that's going on, like you say, Afterlife, he was on his mind to move over, but he's going to go back into the jungle, find the farm, keep this pressure onto the tier 2, tier 1, tier 1. So yeah, onto the tier 2.
And now is farm time for Darkside. So the TA wants the Blink, wants the Death. So I guess Rabel is going to get Blink first because he understands his supports need to be getting something done on the map. And they need him to finish people off. But either way, until those items come out from Darkside, one move should know that they are the ones that are free to do whatever they want on the map. So I'm curious to see how well they're going to be using this one, because they have the ability with the Storm and Disruptor to get those supports over and over again.
Yeah, and looking at the net worth, I mean, apart from the TA, they've got the lead on all 3 cores here for the start of one move. So Dizzian, he's not even going to be close to that Aghanim Scepter. Like you say, it is farm time now. So I would love to see one move to just hit this disruption onto Dizzian and slow this Aghanim Scepter coming out for the Pudge.
Oh, Rabel is in a smoke with his support, so he wants to assist them even before he gets the Blink.
Yeah, true. And it's only going to be the Dragonlance here in terms of main items for the Templar. So not even like he has a Desolator or something like that. Roger, Sineko, I think I'm about to find Mankushi. Actually using these drinks. No, top lane, the Vortex drag back now as well. They've got this glimpse into the Static Storm. It looks like the Sharpshooter comes through, and Aincrad gets the kill. Great secure there onto Blizzy, and it just made the Darkside supports panic a little bit, looking for those TPs, and pulls the aggro away from Mankushi in this mid lane.
Yep, Darkside Spores, they get towards the top lane. They want to be part of fights. Both the Rubik and the Crystal Maiden, especially Roger with the Static Storm that's going to be expiring in like 30 seconds, I think. So he wants to make sure to use that one, but they just can't find the opening.
No, not at all. It doesn't seem. And yeah, Roger, like you say, he's got that up. So maybe looking for one last hurrah for this with the smoke coming through. And if they find the Storm Spirit here, and like I said that before, Sineko, Crystal Maiden, he does want to fight as well on this hero. Storm Spirit, though, he might be the target if the smoke breaks. Does he have the vision? Is he able to get himself away? He just straight up gets that dive out. He might lose his courier. Doesn't even lose his courier.
That tree there gave him the fog of war, so the Rubik couldn't get the lift off. He was in range at that point, but Aincrad just went behind the tree. That was a little bit of luck for Aincrad as well.
Meanwhile, Nature's Prophet's got that Hand of Midas again. He's going to be top of the net worth now. So Hand of Midas coming straight out into what looks like the Gleipnir here for the Nature's Prophet. Meanwhile, Roger, Blizzy looking to make a move, but Gilga, he's in the trees. He's already going to be away with a scurry.
He will probably not get caught here. I don't know if they want to even attempt to defend the top lane. The Broodmother cannot come there and be super effective. Gilgir, Blizzy will find them.
Yeah, I thought he might have just gone straight out for the leaf here now as well. Gilga, though, they're jumping from Rabel, so a couple more right clicks. What was stolen? It's going to be the Acorn shot, and it's going to be Rabel picking up kill onto Gilga. I thought he might have just left.
Dire's top tower.
Very smart choice there. He did get the bushwhack off and immediately goes for the Acorn shot. Understands he doesn't want to give the bushwhack to Rubik.
Meanwhile, mid lane now, there's going to be the jump in. Did they get the kill onto Dizzy? And Dizzy, and he's not going to survive through. Yeah, they get the kill in Afterlife. It was a group up, a great glimpse back there as well. Just to wind him up a little bit, but it might cost him the tier 1 tower in the mid lane.
Maybe could have killed him, but one move there, not 100% confident now without the mana of the storm.
Yeah, just didn't want to take the risk, and, you know, it's just... Again, it's that mental game. Not only the kills, but just being able to inconvenience the enemy team. It just gets to them little by little.
Rabel is going to be getting the shard. I'm liking this more and more that the TAs, when I see them, though we haven't seen a lot of them in Eastern Europe, but in other regions, you get the shard early on. You don't wait for the second Roche, because the trap silence is just so huge. It is 3.5 seconds, and for a Storm Spirit, it's going to be impossible to play until he has BKB.
Yeah, 3.5 seconds on a Storm Spirit can be your entire life in these fights if you do get silenced like that. Speaking of silence, he's going to jump in onto Sineko, so they want to silence the Crystal Maiden, get this kill, and even get the jump out to even a D-Ward as well. Just to rub it in a little bit more here, Gilga takes down the Observer Ward.
Very smart choice from Minecraft just to jump onto the CM. The Crystal Maiden is so squishy, and she's a big problem for the Storm Spirit in general. So I'm actually surprised that he didn't get like... you know, the raindrops, the fluffy hat, those kind of things to just keep himself alive a little bit longer. Because if you get the frostbite onto the storm, he's just straight up dead.
And see here, Dizzy, and he's still 2 items away from this. Also, he did get killed once, but in no, even Farmio, he's not doing great here on the Pudge, so we'll see if one move, if you want to come for another gank here onto the Pudge, maybe just shut this down a little bit later, you know, force the Aghanims out to a little bit later on. But Afterlife, he's just so comfortable here on the bottom lane. It's just like, wait, there's more outside of just farming PvE?
I mean...
Is there for a Broodmother?
No, of course not. The Pudge... Man, overall, I don't have a problem with his farm. The problem I have is that he's laning with a Crystal Maiden versus a Blue. That is a lane you should have won.
Oh, yeah. It was just played so well that Afterlife always sat in the creep, so if there was a hook to come through, even with that frostbite, you know, he was in the position where he would never be hooked back. And yeah, that like I say, it might not be the farm potential of the Pudge, but the fact that he's not something like 5, 1, and 3 in this game, you know, it's just hurting that Aghanim's timing on the Pudge.
I really like that Afterlife got the gem, because they understand the importance of these traps going down. It's also going to be good farm for him, and
Yeah.
Darkside going for the Broodmother at this point of the game probably would be a mistake. Going into that area of the map is just not easy.
Templar has a double damage rune now as well. Going towards, he's going to go back. He's got that shard up, so he wants to go back towards the Deso, which, again, normal Templar build-up, but we'll see how long that takes, because, I mean, Gilga's scouting through the Radiant Jungle. He might be able to find the Pudge. He's just going to be able to steal a bounty rune, it looks like. Maybe get himself out. And, yeah, no, I was wondering how long it would take. They're going to step themselves inside Roshan here. With the side blades coming through, you've got that meld, so you do have the armor reduction. And we'll see how quickly this goes without the Desolator, because usually it is the second big item to the Templar as the Desolator, and that's how you get yourself that fast Roche.
Yeah, he doesn't want to do it. I like that they would want to fight away from the Broodmother, so forcing out things in the Roche pit are nice, but without the Deso, it would have taken a lot of time, and during that time your mid lane tower would have fallen, and one move could get into the pit in time.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to back themselves away from it. Like I say, it's just a very long engage onto the hook back drag onto the Storm Spirit. They get a Dismember off. Can they get the kill onto Ankrad now as well? He's going to go down. So they do get the kill. They trade off Roger now. But that is going to be a great trade. Seneko, can he get himself away from these Spiderlings? The chase is on Dizzy, and now Blizzy comes through as well with that trample. But with the Bushwhack though, it catches, it locks down on the Primal Beast. They've got the silence, they've got the slow into the Hoodwink. He's going to miss the hook, but Gilga, he's still going to go down. And Rabel picks up that kill. Going to have a decent amount of gold from that. In fact, that might be the opening here. If he just wants to go back to his stacks, which of course there aren't on, because these traps, and they were just farmed up anyway.
The hook on the Storm won them the fight, right? He didn't see where the Pudge was. They dove a little bit too much. One move. They understand it's very nice and convenient for them to feed on the supports, but he just wasn't expecting the Zinc to be there. The second the Storm got hooked, one move needed to get away. They just didn't have the movement speed necessary to get all of their heroes out after that.
And yeah, no, this does get the Templars so close now to that Desolator. I think that's when you look to get yourself inside the pit, and Roger even going to be able to get some stacks off as well. And Ankrad, where is he jumping? He's just jumping down to this double damage rune, so he will be able to take it away from the Templar. Bottle that one up as well. So that's going to be nice for the next engagement from the side of one move. But again, Darkside, even with this Pudge not, running rampant in the lane, he's got that Aghanims up now. He's the Philosopher's Stone does come out, so that's going to be nice for Seneko. And he's going to have a nice time. It's going to help accelerate his farm as well. And once this Blink Dagger comes up, the BKB as well, Dizzy's going to look really scary on the Pudge.
That is true, but that is exactly what Darkside's lineup is. It is very reliant on those timings. The timings work out. Considering that one mover ahead and they have this split put potential, they can just dodge Darkside forever and continue applying pressure on different lanes. Pretty much just what Afterlife is doing right now on the bottom.
Yeah, and I suppose that's another impact on the Pudge, where the timing-wise on the kills, that you want... Oh, he might be able to get... No! He misses the hook onto Gilga.
It's hard.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little... Have you ever tried to catch a squirrel? It's not easy to do. I imagine. I'm not speaking from experience.
It's super easy. I'm just kidding. I've rarely seen a squirrel in the wild, let alone caught one.
But yeah, this is going to be the Deso comes out from the Templar, and it's going to be the Roche attempt. And while this is going on, one move, they're taking the tier 2 tower on the bottom lane. Afterlife picks that one up. The scan comes out, but this is going to be a quicker Roshan, so it looks like one move. They're going to play it away from this one. Maybe try and take a fight before this Roshan can complete, because you can see where they are in the jungle. The DD coming through from the Storm Spirit now as well. And the Roche completes. Looks like they're not going to be able to catch anyone out of position.
And one move are probably going to be fighting only for the second Roche. They're going to continue to... split push the side lanes. The one move, if I was them, I would be dodging the fight in the mid lane so much. Because if you lose it, and you can lose a fight around the mid lane, it could be Darkside getting ahead and finally getting the strength to go a little bit deeper on your objectives. So you need to not let that happen.
Yeah, I like the idea with this wall that they've got down, the Observer showing what the vision gives. So they knew through the scan, Gilga, he gets the Bushwhack, he's going to be able to get the TP. No, the Pulverize comes out and they get the kill. But yeah, what I'm saying is that they got the scan onto the Roche pit, so they knew at least the Templar Assassin was committed into that, and meanwhile they had this really deep observer ward here that was seeing like the rotations from the supports moving around this part. So it was a good idea from the side of one move to try and take a fight when they knew they were going to have the man advantage, but they just couldn't catch any glimpses of vision once he did get part. I mean, they did take control of that Radiant part of the jungle for a little bit there as well, taking that outpost and the tier 2.
I'm kind of surprised that one move are not going for more attempted pickoffs in the side lanes, even on the cores. I think they did have a couple of opportunities there. Now the top lane, ooh, that's not a smart jump from the Storm. He's still gonna get the kill.
He's maybe going to get a kill. I don't even think he's going to be able to get a kill. Yeah, Sneko survives through that, and he just has to go for the big jump away. Meanwhile, it's going to be the death of Pantomim. So Pantomim just got caught out. It was a good jump in theory, but again, theory doesn't really play out in Dota, and Darkside able to take down at least one, forcing the Storm Spirit back there as well.
Still, as long as the cores of one move are not dying, I think they're fine. But on the other hand, I really like what Darkside are doing. It's very important that they take a tier 2. If they manage to do it, then you can equalize the outpost control, and it's gonna be much easier to control the Roche as time progresses. Top lane is gonna be completely off limits for one move once that tier 2 on top falls.
Blizzy, he was just trying to contest onto the Broodman to slow that tier 1 being taken down, and he bought time here for the tier to get in, to do the damage onto the tower, even trying to go through the backdoor protection. But before this breaks out now, they're going to have the bushwhack onto the Primal Beast. The Vortex will connect. Do they get the kill onto Blizzy? Blizzy's trying to come through with the BKB now as well. Where's that physical damage going to come from? He might have to lock down onto Sneko here. Anchor with his own BKB. The hook will miss, and it's going to cost him the life of the Crystal Maiden. Blizzy, the lockdown after the BKB expires, so they get 2, and that tier 2 tower still stands. He might even be able to go for more, but Roger, he steals the ball line and will be able to get a big gap away from the Storm Spirit.
Yeah, night and day difference when the Storm doesn't have a BKB. When he has a BKB, he understands that he's just not an easy target. Storm, with the Dragon Scale, you can see he has 22 armor, so he would be able to survive the TA going ham on him a little bit longer.
Well, Roger, the reveal comes out, but the ball line is still there. Doesn't matter, he's used all of his mana, and the glimpse comes back, it connects. And the Rubik, doesn't matter how far you run, once that glimpse is there, you just come back arms wide open there for one move.
They get a bonus kill, and one move. We're just waiting for that BKB on the Storm to be able to invade their own jungle. That is the thing. And Darkside didn't manage to get a tier 2 before that happens. This is a big problem, because if they don't manage to open up the map for the next Roche, it's going to be a problem. TA, Rabel?
They actually got to jump on here. The hook comes out. He's taking a lot of damage. Still has that Aegis, but it is going to pop, and it looks like one move. They're going to call that a day. Did you know he's going to go for the blink in? The Dismember comes out. The board. He doesn't have a BKB. He's going to be controlled. He's even killed.
What?
I do not know.
Like, I have no teammates here. That means I jump into all of them. Let's go. That was a Chad move, but yeah, 4 versus 1 usually doesn't work out the way you want it. I think even if he has the BKB there, Munkushi still slaps him to death. Yeah, that's just very much unexpected.
And I mean, it's so expected, it could have worked. Well, not really, because yeah, as soon as he jumps in, the Vortex comes out. They have that lockdown, and yeah, I'm flabbergasted at that. That's left me in, well, not speechless, because I am still talking, but thoroughly confused.
Okay, that's actually a good way to put it. What I do like from one move is Afterlife, he is starting to build it to a halberd. It is very much necessary to stop the TA from attacking. Later on, especially once he gets like Crystallis, Daedalus, Rabel is going to be cutting everybody down in half from just one hit. So you need to make sure that he cannot continue going in with the right clicks, or everybody on one move is just going to die.
Yeah, and this is what I usually see from the Broods as well, that, you know, after you get the Pipes and Greaves, like your full utility on this hero, that I'd expect after this Heaven's Harbor to come through, which is a change from the normal build, obviously, like you say, because it does do great against the TA. Speaking about doing great, he might be able to get the kill onto the Storm. Storm, did he overcommit now as well? He's going to go down. He might be able to get the kill onto Sneko still, yeah, and Pantomim does get that, but BKB comes through, and it looks like Pantomim, the glimpse actually comes back onto Blizzy. They take down Roger and Sneko. Pantomim, he goes down into the end of the pudge. Can they go for even more? The hook, they'll catch it onto Munkushi. I think the disruption onto that TP. Munkushi, the dismember comes through. Munkushi's going to go down.
Oh, perfect time for a hook there. He gets the TP into the base, but gets pulled back. That is how it works. You always land from whence the hook was used. So they get that kill. But this is pretty much the Storm Spirit making a mistake, right? It is nothing else. If there's anyone that you want to be pointing fingers at, it's definitely gonna be Aincrad.
Yeah, it was just a little bit too deep there from the Storm Spirit. Maybe thinking he was invincible because he had the Black King bar, but didn't actually end up getting it off. And the Pulverize just keeps him locked down enough for the damage to come through. And Aincrad, yeah, he's going to go for the Boots of Travel now as well. At least, you know, again, Silver Linings, he's still got that 8-second BKB, but that was a major misplay there coming out from the Storm Spirit.
And also on a part of the map where you should generally be winning a fight, so that is a big hit to one move. If, let's say, they lost a fight in the enemy triangle, top part of the map, closer to the enemy tier 2, that's fine. But inside of the enemy jungle where you should have all the control, instead of getting a couple of kills, you lose 2 of your cores. That could come to haunt you.
Radiant are scanning.
Aincrad's actually going to go back for, after the Boots of Travel, going to go into the Hex now. And I was saying that, you know, the Broodmother, the usual build you see is these Pipe Screeves and then into a Hex themselves. But top lane, actually did they get the jump onto Dizzy, and the Gleipnir comes out, they've got the control, the hook, he just drags the Nature Prophet in close for this Dismember. Aincrad should have the damage after this Dismember was off. And Pantsman will go down in return, but Dizzy, again, caught out of position without a BKB.
I have no idea what he's doing there. To be honest, Storm Spirit, whenever he jumps on in, if you're that deep and the Nature's Prophet DP's in, it's just straight up a kill. There's absolutely no way that you're surviving those 2 heroes.
I don't know what was going through his mind. Trying to go for that. I guess he's just trying to maybe put the pressure, take down this tier 2, but yeah, solo. When you've got 2 effectively global heroes coming in with the Storm Spirit and the Broodmother, if you don't have your teammates backing you up, it's just straight up death. And we see again that he just gets taken down out of position, over-committing.
Still, though, this is his first showing in Division 1, you know, so I think he should be somewhat happy with his performance.
Oh yeah, all of these, they get the kill on Gillian now as well with his Pulverize, but the Static Storm comes out, BKB already there from Rabel. Suneko not going to be as lucky, Munkushi coming through, he gets himself a double kill on the supports, Rabel, they go for the TP away, but ooh, to the Primal Beast Blizzy, that onslaught is caught by the Kinetic Field Glimpse, and Munkushi, a triple kill to revenge Gilgia.
And this is all because Dizzy died on the top lane, right? You don't have your carry. His damage output in that fight and also having a BKB piercing disable definitely would have made a significant difference in the fight. But at least now he's gonna have some time to farm his BKB, and in the next fight he should be a lot more useful.
Yeah, that's all right if it wasn't for Roshan respawning right now. You've got 20 seconds on the Primal Beast before he's back. You know, Suneko's only just respawned. In fact, the Primal Beast has the buyback now if he wants it. The scan comes out onto the high ground. How quickly can this Rosh go down here? It's going down pretty darn quick. Is it going to be quick enough to get it before Darkside try and jump in and get the invades?
Rabel, he wants to jump in, but he doesn't know. This is the gem. Just every single trap gets taken down in Darkside. Will just let it go. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, now they're going to look for the jump now as well. There's going to be the jump forward from the Nature's Prophet. Looking for that TP. The Pulverize comes through the Gleipnir. Pantomime might go down. BKB comes out here from Blizzy. Pantomime is getting pretty darn low, and Blizzy will be able to get the kill, but it might cost him his life. That BKB does wear off the jump of the Storm Spirit, this time with his own BKB going, so he's not going to be caught. They do trade off a support for Blizzy here on the Primal Beast, and, you know, if that's the trade that you're going to take, you take that all day.
And there's also a regen on the Storm Spirit, so one move, they're not done. They have the resources necessary to continue fighting if need be.
And it's like they are going to back themselves away. Dizzy pushing out the bottom lane. He's got that BKB flying into him, but yeah, one move. I think they've learned the lesson about maybe overcommitting here. But yeah, this Aegis, the shard. I think the Nature's Prophet even got that shard as well. Who did he pass it across to?
Storm got it.
Okay, so Overload. So yeah, stacking up the damage here with the Overload, I guess.
I don't think he did so much damage both. Look at that one. He didn't even use it, and it's just so much damage that the two of them are doing.
Yeah, I suppose it makes sense when, you know, all 3 of your cores are right-click heroes here. That Overload, like you say, that damage will really stack up, and it's
Radiant's
going to be
middle
so
tower
hard
has
for
fallen.
the supports like the Crystal Maiden, like Roger, to survive
Radiant's
against
middle
because they
tower
don't have
is
the
under
deepest
attack.
health pools in the game.
I mean, also having the overload stacks on every single one of your heroes will help burn through the refractions as well, considering the Drabble is level 21, so we can expect them maybe to be level 25 before the game ends. Could be a necessary thing to help you deal with that.
Radiant
Yeah,
structures are
and
fortified.
now they're coming in with a siege. They
Radiant's
will be able to
bottom
get
tower
Rabel
is
gets that
under
tier 2
attack.
tower in the top lane, and one move back themselves away. So
Dire's
not
top
overcommitting, you know, not
tower
sure
is
that
under
the TA is, so not wanting to lose a tier 3 of their own. Will back themselves away, look for that reset, but they have this Aegis now for the next, what, 3 minutes? Yeah, no, that's great timing for them. They can re-push, you know, re-goose onto this if they want to. Darkside going to be smoking out of the base. Looking to maybe just catch on to Afterlife. Afterlife, Telekinesis comes through. This member's going to be there now as well as the freezing field. Afterlife, though. Actually, no, this is good to jump in. The TP from Sushi. They want to try and turn this one. Did they actually get the kill onto Afterlife? Afterlife with Insatiable Hunger. He's going to be able to keep himself alive a little bit. Dizzy, he's popped this BKB now as well. The chase down onto the Pudge. Munkushi, did he get that sprout off? He does. The spawn spiderlings coming out. They get the kill onto the Pudge, and now they can turn on Rabel. And again, that Aegis is still there. The Vortex strike back. And they get the kill. It's going to be 4 heroes dead on the side of Darkside, and Blizzy's looking to run himself away, but I don't know what he does 1v4 here in this game when one move they're looking to break the high ground.
This is the itemization from the Brood winning the fight, right? Any different set of items and the Brood Mother dies, but he has a Halberd, he has a Lotus Orb. When his teammates are there, he has more than 30 armor, and the second that the Nature's Prophet TP is in and he has a AC armor bonus as well, this Brood stops taking any damage. So Afterlife, he just needed to pop his items. He did get a chance to do so. It wasn't a stun lock from 100 to 0, and well, the rest is history. Very easy fight.
Yeah, now the pipe comes through. The Fade Bolt trying to reduce the damage being done, but this is going to be a setup. Rocks, it looks like there's no TA for the next 30 seconds at least. Storm Spirit, he's got those boots to try and just go back to base, regen up, and then just TP into one of the spiderlings here from the Broodmother. And one move, they're looking to siege this base. They might, I think they back themselves away after this, maybe respect the respawn times, but they could just look for a reset and maybe wait to catch Darkside out of position. In fact,
no need. They can go for more. There's no reason for them to stop. They're so much stronger, and there's no glyph.
Okay, Gilga's going to jump in now as well. Speaking about jump, they get the jump onto Dizzy, and they knew exactly where he wanted to be in these trees to look for the hook in. And they call his bluff. You know, they find out where he is, and yeah, this is the push coming through. They're going to be able to take at least this range tracks here. In the Darkside base jump in. Aincrad, he's got himself that Aghanim Scepter now as well. The drag back, Blizzy's got the BKB. Pulveride comes through. Aincrad, what's he going to be able to do with the BKB of his own? It looks like they're still going to be able to get the kill onto Blizzy. Blizzy doesn't want to buy back into this one because this is looking like Butch and Sundance time coming out for Darkside, as they might just lose. They will lose another Rex. Even the hook, it doesn't connect there. And they're going to go for the end game here. One move. Seneko, even with the freezing field coming through, he's just going to be right-click through. The Spiderlings, they spawn where his corpse was. And one move, a 2-hero advantage here, 5-3. So Darkside, it's the jump in the bushwhack now as well, going through the refraction charge of Dizzy. He comes in for the dismember, but it is going to be onto the onto the Hoodwink. And now Primal Beast, what can he do? Telekinesis onto the Broodmother. The Broodmother, can he survive through this one? He's going to be silenced up. Will be able to turn around with the Insatiable Hunger if he wants it. And they've got that buyback onto Blizzy. So Blizzy, can he actually survive through it? It's just going to be the dieback here. Yeah, Blizzy, he needs to get himself out of it. The Sprout comes out. Pudge, the dive in from the Storm Spirit. The kill onto the Pudge. Dizzying goes down. So does Blizzy. The roots now onto the Rubik. They might even dive into the base for Rabel. And yeah, Rabel with these Spirelings going through the refraction charges. GG is going to be called. Does he go down before the fountain pops? Before the ancient pops. It was close, but it doesn't. He will survive, but it's not a comfort here. Darkside still have not picked up a series.
Darkside are officially out of Division 1, right?
Yeah.
So last time they did stay in. They had a bit of a different lineup though. They changed 2 players, and this was a much worse showing, right? I'm just talking in terms of their performances in games. It just wasn't good. They have one more series to play, but it's going to be against Bedboom. Thinking they're going to win that one, highly unlikely, especially with all of their spirits probably being down after this one. But yeah, they have won only one game so far. One map is the only thing they got, and that was the first series that they played. This team hasn't tasted victory for a very long time. They forgot what it tastes like.
Yeah, and what else can you say here? That they've just not lived up to, like I said, that the Division One standards, and they've got punished for it. It was even in this game, you could see it coming through. Dizzy and Seneko, they had a plan in that safe lane. They couldn't pull it off. It slowed down Dizzy's items. One move was just able to build up so much momentum, get themselves Munkushi, because even Munkushi wasn't really that pressured in the lane. Even though there were kills to come through, he did die once. After that, though, he just moved himself into the jungle, and Darkside never really got the rotations off to put the pressure onto one move to stop these item times coming out. And yeah, one move, they were just able to take control of this game.
Yeah, they were. I mean, they were in control for the entire series. Laning stage, early mid game. At every point, they knew what they were doing. Darkside in this game in particular, I think at some point they were hitting their timings properly, but I think when you could pretty much say, okay, this game is not looking good and Darkside are gonna lose, is when with the Aegis, they didn't manage to push the top lane before Storm got his BKB. They smoked in and they killed them. So I think for me, that was the point in the game when I looked at it, and I just didn't believe in Darkside Division 1 any longer.
Yeah, and looking forward here, the next series, the final series of the day, is going to be Hellraisers versus Spirits. Before we go to the break, any final thoughts on this series coming up? Of any edges between these two teams, or do you think it's just going to be a big between them for this final series of the day?
I think if the games are shorter, that it's probably Hellraisers winning. If the games are longer, it is probably gonna be Spirit coming out of on top. But whatever the case, I think the games will be somewhat close, right? Because these teams have been looking amazing, but in my mind, I still think Spirit, they deserve to get the position 1 spot. They were the best positioned Eastern European team in the major. They have been the most consistent one for 2 years back, right? So in my mind, they're the best and should be taking the victory.
Okay, well, we are going to take a little bit of a longer break here before we get into that final series. It's going to be Gary and Trent to take you through it there as well. So I know they're going to entertain everybody watching for this final. And this is the headliner as well. This is the one that everybody's looking forward to. So, guys, thank you very much for watching. We'll be back tomorrow. But Gary and Trent to take you through the final series. But for now, a break. We'll see you tomorrow.